Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News, episode 334. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Brandon here, and welcome back to another juicy episode of WWE News Rumors. So, we have some juicy stuff to talk about. I'm not going to ramble on surprisingly too much at the beginning of this episode, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first news story, if you guys haven't heard about this, WWE, get this, WWE is starting a treasure hunting series. You heard me right. Okay, hopefully it'll be a little bit better than I'm leading on. So basically, the television network A&E have announced that they're doing a show called WWE Treasure Hunting or something along the lines of that. And basically it's going to have to do with them hunting old WWE memorabilia and like old stuff to do with WWE, which, you know, is really all just in the WWE, you know, warehouse. It's not like you know, a show where they're going out and actively searching for lost pieces of WWE things. I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think it's just going to be like a kind of a warehouse kind of tour show. Anyway, it should be interesting nonetheless. It should be very interesting. I'm going to check it out and see if it's good. And I'll let you guys know if it's good. It has a potential to be good, but I think they could have done something a little bit different. I think they could have, I mean, yeah, there's stuff in the warehouse, but they also could have, like, actually done, you know, treasure hunting instead of actually just going in the warehouse and going through the boxes. But, you know, that's just me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and the next news story, it actually doesn't have to do with WWE, but I don't do an AEW new series, and this is kind of news regarding like all pro wrestling, so we're going to talk about it. So this has to do with AEW, and they're actually got fined by the state of Maryland, the Maryland Athletic Commission, I believe is the proper name. So they're they are fining, it's going to be $10,000, they have to pay $10,000 and it's over with. So, basically, it has to do with Full Gear and there being too much blood or something. So it has to do with, you know, the Moxley and Omega match. Apparently, it was just like too much blood, and we weren't dealing with that. And apparently, I don't know. It's a mess. They're getting fined $10,000, and if basically they get fined again, they could have a potential to get banned in the state of Maryland, so they could never do a show in the state of Maryland again. And if you ask me, they're fining because the match was too extreme, it was unapproved, unsafe, whatever. Okay, AEW, the whole point of this company is to do things that WWE doesn't do anymore. Things that used to make wrestling great that we don't do anymore. And that's having extreme matches, using extreme weapons. Basically, bringing back extreme, an ECW kind of feel. Like, it's unique. It's different, something we haven't seen in a while, and now, you know, the Athletic Commission for the state of Maryland is stepping in, being like, you can't do this, do it again, and we won't allow you to ever have a show here again. It's kind of BS. You're kind of censoring them, and, like, they're not a WWE clone. They've never wanted to be a WWE clone. They're trying to bring extreme and excitement back to pro wrestling, and you're trying to shut them down, which is not going to look good, you know, in pro wrestling fans' eyes. Apparently, they're going to go all over the media and try to slam AEW for just doing unsafe things and horrible things, and this is a problem and it needs to be stopped, and AEW needs to be shut down. Well, good luck with that, because I'm here on AEW side saying it's different, it's unique, it's entertainment, we love it, don't freaking touch it. Sorry about that, guys, I got a little excited there, but ladies and gentlemen, that is actually the only confirmed news stories I have to talk to you guys about today, and now we're going to talk about some unconfirmed news stories, also called rumors, and I'm going to use my catchphrase, which is on a t-shirt, on a juice box, available on the Brandon Hodge merchandise store. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the news stories, and now we're going to talk about some juicy rumors. All right, the first rumor has to do with Apollo Cruz. Someone tell me, what is the proper name now? Because I remember they dropped the Cruz from his name, and then they brought it back, and then they removed it again, or maybe they brought it back and it's staying back. I don't know, it's a mess. So I'm just saying Apollo Cruz because that's the actual full name of the wrestler. Wrestlers can have first and last name. They all don't have to be one name, you know, whatever. Basically, Apollo Cruz, there's a rumor right now that he's actually going to be turned heel by the WWE. So, if we don't know, he was supposed to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He was taken out before a injury, and the reason I do that, fake storyline injury. It was scripted injury. So, he's not actually injured, and they apparently have other plans for him, and they want to turn him heel. Which is something he needs desperately. Like, ever since the character has been on our television sets, it's just, like, in the ring, yeah, it's freaking phenomenal. It's amazing. But when we get to the microphone and kind of the character kind of aspects, it's like, you don't really play too well as a babyface, and some people don't play well as babyfaces or heels. I think he's a natural heel, and I think he's going to go like sky high as a heel, But we'll just have to wait and see. But apparently WWE came to their senses on this, and he needs to be heel. Just like, Roman Reigns, or maybe I'm not allowed to say that name anymore, I don't know. All right, the next rumor. The next rumor is about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So there's been a lot of questions about, is it going to be completely a pre-tape show? Is it going to be a live show? And I said in the last year's episode, it's going to be kind of a mix of both. Just, the stuff that's going to be in Connecticut at the headquarters is going to be pre-taped. But if we're in Orlando at the Performance Center, it's going to be live. So I have a little more info now to update you guys on that. So actually, there's only going to be 2 pre-taped segments, and the rest of the show is going to be live. So the only pre-taped segments are actually the Money in the Bank ladder matches. So the matches for the briefcase. We have to climb the ladder, the top of the ladder, on top of the headquarters of the WWE, and on the roof of the building. You got to climb the ladder. That's going to be terrifying. Grab a briefcase. Those few matches, the men's and women's match, are actually going to be pre-taped. So the rest of the show will be live in Florida. So there is the update for you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and the next news story. The next news story is about Goldberg. So Goldberg fans, I've got news for you. So there's been some rumors going around that Goldberg's actually done with WWE. He's officially retiring, and there's not a point. I mean, he's already in the Hall of Fame. He's set. He doesn't need to keep wrestling. He's came back. He's won the title before. There's no point in him keep wrestling. So, there was a rumor going around that Goldberg was going to retain the WWE Universal Championship against Braun Strowman. He was going to retain it, and they were going to keep it on Goldberg until SummerSlam time when Roman Reigns could get back and actually beat Goldberg. But as we all know, Goldberg didn't retain. Braun Strowman beat Goldberg for the Universal Championship. So what's the deal there? And there's been rumors fuming up that Goldberg's done with WWE, he's never wrestling again or whatever. Well, I have news for you guys. That is false. He is actually going to continue wrestling. He has a deal with the WWE. I mean, there was rumors he didn't re-sign or whatever. But apparently he still has a deal. He's going to wrestle a few times a year. And that's it. He's not wrestling any more than a few times a year. So he's still wrestling. So Goldberg fans, everyone's a fan of Goldberg, right? So he will continue wrestling on for a bit longer. I don't know how much is a bit, but we will just have to wait and see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and the final news story, the final rumor, the final thing I will be talking with you guys about inside of this W News video. It's about SummerSlam. So we got to be even. See, I don't really like to, I kind of like to play things down the middle. I don't like to be, I mean, being positive is wonderful, but I don't like to be too negative. I don't want to be positive when there's no hope. I want to be kind of, legitimate and in reality with you guys, even though the videos may give you a little escape from reality sometimes. I just want to be honest about the SummerSlam situation. Is SummerSlam happening as scheduled? So it's supposed to be happening in Boston, in the Garden in Boston. So is this happening? So apparently Boston just today, they canceled this giant, I think it was supposed to be some kind of festival thing. And they said no giant events like this will be happening in Boston until probably around September time. And SummerSlam is in August, the end of August. So worst case scenario, just postpone SummerSlam a few weeks. But it's not very clear if this will apply to SummerSlam. I think they may be just talking about these huge festivals that are going to bring in hundreds of thousands of people, and they're going to go on for days and days and days and days. Well, so SummerSlam, yeah, we're probably going to be doing a SmackDown and a Raw there in Boston too, but it's not going to be this huge deal. I mean, the Garden only holds 20,000 people. It isn't this giant festival deal. So it might happen still in Boston in August. But WWE apparently have a backup plan, and I don't think the backup plan is just to not have it with a crowd and have it in Florida. I don't think that's the deal. I mean, they might move it to Florida, but it might, maybe a crowd, fans would be allowed to attend the show in Florida. Personally, my thoughts, if it's not happening in Boston, if it's not happening in the TD Garden, then just put it in the Amway Center in Orlando. The Amway Center in Orlando holds 20,000 people. Right now, with current regulations in Florida, we can have 5,000 people in there, but it's only May. We have to remember this is until August, and I believe every 30 days they're moving it up 25%. So by August, we should be back to almost 100% capacity, so they could fill up the Amway Center in Florida and just have it in Florida if Boston isn't ready to host an event of WWE, of that, I don't want to say of that size, because 20,000 people isn't really a giant festival or anything really concerning, even though that is, a bit after this whole ordeal. But Florida, I think, is a little bit past where, Massachusetts is, so we'll just have to wait and see. In my personal opinion, if it's not happening, in Boston, they could postpone it a few weeks to get around the thing if they're going to put a block until September. or they can move to Florida where they're definitely going to be allowed to have the event. So, in my personal opinion, SummerSlam is happening with a crowd. It is happening live with a crowd somewhere in the United States. If it's not going to be, in Boston, Massachusetts, it's going to be in Florida. My bet would be for Orlando. But that is just my personal opinion. So there you guys have it. That's going to do it for this episode of WWE News and Rumors. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you're brand new to this channel, and you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, turn on the post notifications to know when I upload a brand new video. I don't just do news, I do a variety of WWE content. Actually, I have a WWE Shop unboxing coming out here in a few days, so I have WWE Shop unboxings. I do WWE reviews, vlogs, obviously. I go all over the country going to shows. If you guys haven't seen the vlogs before, go check those out. But I'll stop promoting, guys. I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I'm Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.